spirit that reads cards. It could be an ancestor, right? It could be a madama. It could be a gitana, a gypsy. It could be a India or Kachina. Somebody's reading cards. You got to find out who's reading those cards. It is not you. That's why when I get the cards and I get a book, I never use the book. My spirits don't care about what that book says. They show me the picture and I can hear and I can see. And with this card and knowing their energy, I know how they talk, right? I know who's rougher than the other ones. I know who's going to say the shit that don't, well, they all going to say they don't care about what you hear. You ask the question, they're going to answer it, period. So I know that when I look at this card, it tells me something completely different than what Alan Kardec or whoever it is that wrote the cards. I know that this don't mean that. This means what my people says it means, because I know how they communicate and I can hear it, I can see it, I can envision it. They're putting the words in my mouth. So before I even think too hard, I should already have a connection with that energy that says when I flip this card, I know that this means this. Not what the book says. The book is just there for those of you who don't understand that there's a spirit that's connected. Those are for novices. We're not trying to be novice. We're trying to be the master of our own destiny. We're trying to be in full control and full capacity of the gifts that we have, and understand that it is innate with us, that these gifts work through us. We're connected to it. So we don't have to fight and study and memorize the cards. You're supposed to fight and study and memorize this energy. I know her. She told me her name. She told me what she likes. She told me what color she wears. She tells me what she wants. She tells me which particular sets of tarot cards she'd like me to use when I'm dealing with her. Now, this particular madama, she don't want me to use a card. She don't want me to use a rock. She don't want me to use a shell. She don't want me to use a pendulum. She want me to sit down and take it in and connect with her energy just like that. Covering what it is that you guys actually need. You know, I don't do this for $1, right? I don't get paid off of this kind of stuff, right? Remember, this is of service. So my ancestors made sure that I was set up financially before I even came in the spiritual offering of services, so that I wouldn't have to be dependent upon that, right? So it wouldn't cloud the way that I move or the way that I do things. A lot of people do these things and get clouded because this is the way that they make their money. And so they lose the character behind it, sadly enough. They lose the true reason and the true gift of what they've been given, which is to be of service, not to make money. I do this stuff so at the end of it, when you tell me like, yo, I feel like I got it, I'm good, I'm moving, they communicate, that's the payment. Like, I'm happy that you guys, my job is to make sure that you get the knowledge, the information, and the wisdom so that you can stand on your own 2 feet and you don't need so much of everybody else to lean on. Right? You're supposed to be able to obtain, like anytime you go to school or anything like that, the degree at the end means that you got all the lessons and you're able to now step out on your own and work in this craft and in this field and be the best at what you can be. Right? So I implore you guys to not rush it, right? In the beginning, if you are doing tarots and you're doing reading and you're doing this, don't be charging the public and talking about I'm doing readings. Start with your friends and your family. Practice on them, right? Practice on yourself, right? What do I need to know today? Don't go in there with 1,000 questions and all that other kind of stuff. In the beginning, when you're starting and you're trying to communicate, you know what's going on in your life. I used to just start pulling a card with everybody. What do I need to know today? What do you got to tell me? What do you got to tell me? What do you got to tell me? And I go to each one of them, and I'll pull a card from each one of them and get the message from each one of them for the day. Normally, it always coincides because they sitting here together, and they all watching me at the same time, and they know all of the shit that I'm doing and all of where I'm falling short on. So they going to run one by one and tell me what I got to do for the day. Okay, I'm finished for the day, and I'm backing away. But I've given my energy in that day to each one of my guides that reads tarot cards, that allows me to connect with that energy, this one and this one by one, even if I'm just reading myself. Now I'll kind of understand the way that the messages come. the cards that I start to get. If I'm doing one deck of cards with one energy, when I get to the card that starts repeating, for me, that energy is finished. She don't got nothing else to say. When that card repeats, I'm finished, right? If I started with this card, right, and I've done 4 cards, right? If that 5th card that I flip is the one that I started with, she is done, right? This is what she told me this is how she works. That's how I know this is how it works, right? She's done it to me enough times for me to know when I get back to the card that I started with, bitch, I ain't got nothing else to say to you now. Go away. It is in my communication with her, in my constant back and forth, in my constant, relationship building, that I understand that this is how she works. Those are the little things that you guys have to look for in order to figure out how it is that these energies work. That's everywhere I ask you when you move and speak. It's always from a genuine place of love and knowledge. Thank you so much, darling. It is. It is. You know why? Because there's so many people out here doing so many wicked things. If I can catch you guys before you get there, then that helps the fight, right? That helps the fight of making it be a better rounded place to live in on this earth, right? If more people are vibrating at the right frequency, doing the right things from the right place, and feel that you got this, you got some footing, you got something that you can hold on to, you got some guidance, you got some direction. Sometimes that's all that it takes for you to stay on your path and to keep you from turning away that's going to eventually harm you, that it's not all good, that you get instant gratification, and the things that you're doing are eventually going to harm you because nobody's telling you that there's consequences for your actions. You're just seeing that you're getting stuff moving quickly, and you're not realizing that there's a trickster energy that's moving that stuff for you because you're vibrating low. So you're welcoming low vibrating energies to come and vibrate low with you. Oh, they love that shit. You're like a perfect battery for them to siphon energy from, because you're supposed to be in light, which means that you're good anyway. That means that you got a good, that's like... you hate to use this analogy, but that's like the vampires. They don't want, they want virgin blood. They don't want the whore's blood. They want virgin blood. That's that good shit. We can get a lot more life off of this. That's how that goes. Don't give them your virgin spirit. You untouched, untapped, and untainted. Your hands are still clean, right? Keep them clean. That way your blessings get to stick to your hands and not roll off to them dark energies. Because when you do dirty, your blessings tip your fingers and roll off. Because you almost had it. You almost had it. And it could have been yours if you did right. You got to work 9 times harder to try to get that back, because you got to make up for what you did, right? You got to make up for the ego that was involved. You got to make up for the haste that was involved. You got to make up for the wanting to be instead of accepting what you already are. You're already a vessel for spirit. You're already a higher being of light. You're already all of these things. You are already your ancestors' wildest dreams. You are already anointed, right? You are already blessed. You are already all of these things. Now what do I do with it? If I don't put forth it to work for the good, then what use is it?